Hi, this is Athletics Now, November 4th, 2008. Welcome, I'm Mark Edgemon, a Certified Athletic Administrator from Upland Christian High School. If you'd like to see all the Athletics Now shows, please go to youtube.com and type in quotation marks the words Athletics Now. This is our 8th program, and we are going to look at the CIF Southern Section office. We have interviews with Commissioner Dr. James Staunton and Assistant Commissioners Rob Wigod, Tom Simmons, Scott Rafferty, and Reiner Wolf. Sorry I missed Christine Pale. They are going to discuss the mission of the CIF Southern Section and will provide information that will make your experience in high school athletics much more enjoyable. Remember, the Blue Book is the rules and regulations of the CIF, and if you would like to read them, they are on the website at www.CIF-ss.org. This is part 1 of the CIF interviews. Today we have the opportunity to meet with Rob Wigod, one of the commissioners for CIF Southern Section. And our opportunity today is to ask him a few questions to help us better understand what CIF's role is in high school athletics and how it impacts your sons and daughters. So Rob, first of all, would you just go ahead and give us a little background, what you've been involved in over the many years in high school sports and then in CIF now?
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you for inviting me, and it's my pleasure to work with you, and someone I respect a lot and appreciate what you're doing. I began as a high school teacher and coach. I taught social studies, and I coached football and baseball. I spent 14 years at Lakewood High School in the Long Beach area as a varsity football coach, varsity baseball coach, and athletic director, and then moved over to Los Alamitos High School, where I was the head baseball coach and athletic director for 2 years prior to coming to the CIF Southern Section as assistant commissioner.
Excellent. What is some of the best parts of being involved with CIF here?
Well, I think the best part is that I really believe that the high school sports fields, courts, gymnasiums, swimming pools, I just believe that they're great classrooms, and I've always believed that. I think that young people learn so much from their participation with sports, and it's about life, and they learn so many valuable lessons to make them, better people. And so because of that, I think I'm very fortunate to be able to spend, my entire day, every day, working with high school athletics, because I really do believe it's in its value.
Is there a common misconception that people here in Southern California have about the CIF and how it operates?
Oh, I do. I think there definitely is. I think that people don't understand that we do not make the rules. People, I think, sometimes expect us to be like the NCAA, where we have an army of investigators that go out and work on catching rule breakers. But in reality, the rules are made by our membership and our member schools through the leagues that they participate in. And we really count on high school principals. This is an organization of high school principals in terms of we expect them and count on them to follow the rules and to make sure that their schools are abiding by what they're supposed to follow. And we expect them to be the primary enforcers of the rules, more so than us as an organizational body.
Where do you spend most of your time involved? Maybe not a day-to-day, but in generally, what are the topics that CIF deals with, especially in your office?
Well, our primary function as assistant commissioners is our sports that we're responsible for. There are 4 of us here. All of us are former coaches and athletic directors, and the real difference between us is just the sports that we manage. I manage football, wrestling, and baseball. And we have other administrators here that handle soccer and basketball and swimming and all the other various sports. So those are our primary responsibilities, but I would say that along with that is eligibility and trying to work with people on eligibility for student athletes. That probably encompasses a lot of our time on the phones and on emails, whether it be with school personnel or even with parents or members of the media or whoever, but I think eligibility is probably the biggest single topic besides the sports that we manage in terms of our time.
Is there something in high school sports that if you had the opportunity to change it, a rule, some impact, what would that be?
That's a very good question. I honestly, if I think about it, I think our rules, you know, expect a little bit more from student athletes. You know, they have to achieve grades that, you know, the regular student at a school wouldn't necessarily have to achieve. You know, in terms of a specific rule, I mean, I think, you know, I think transferring of students is always a big concern of ours, and why they transfer. And I guess if anything, I would want us to be more diligent in, you know, allowing transfers that really are driven by athletic motivation and not by what's best for a student, because we really are an educational institution first, and none of our schools would be open if they weren't educational institutions before we consider athletic programs. And so I think, you know, if there was one frustration from our perspective is that, you know, we feel that in many cases that transferring of schools is just being done for strictly athletic reasons, and that's not something that we really support.
Is there, just as a final question, one topic that you would like to share with parents, students, that would help them in their experience over the 4 years of high school athletics? What would be something that you've experienced, maybe as a coach, as an athletic director, since this is kind of the focus of this program, or maybe if it's in regarding CIF, then that would be fine too.
Well, I guess the one thing that's been in my mind throughout my years as a coach and athletic director and now here is, I guess, that I see the real value on how a high school athletic program really galvanizes a community, you know, really brings people together. I think it brings students of many different ethnic and racial and religious and national backgrounds together, you know, for one common purpose. I see a lot of that. Obviously, it galvanizes parents and businesses and people in their immediate communities to go out and support those programs. And so I guess I just really see that it's such a valuable part of the experience for young people, that, you know, that's the inspiring thing for me. That's the motivator for me, and I think it's been there, you know, throughout. I just have always enjoyed the concept of a school and a program, you know, representing that school, those young people, that community, and you know, watching that work and seeing how it brings people together, and really, you know, for such a positive and good thing that is good for young people. So I think that's probably in a nutshell what I really feel is the best part of what we do.
We want to thank Rob for taking the time out of his schedule to be able to inform us as parents and athletic directors of some of the things that are going on in the CIF office.